Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? Kind of want to introduce myself, starting out my channel. If you enjoy what I do and what you see in this video that I'm going to be making today, be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Today I kind of want to share a little bit of knowledge that I have with cars and kind of show you guys what you need to do if you have this problem in this particular vehicle that I have today. Going to be working on a Ford Taurus, and we're having an issue with the audio. The radio's not working, and we're going to find out what's going on with it. I'll show you guys what's up. Here's the car. Just recently picked it up. Pretty clean car, got it at auction. Trying to fix it up. It's got a little minor stuff wrong with it here and there, but just little stuff. So the issue that we're having in here is the V-Sync for this car turns on and works, but we have no sound. And the other issue that we're having is we cannot change the radio station. So as you see here, I'll try to turn the volume up. Nothing. But what I do need to show you is over here in the menu, go to entertainment, try to hit FM, nothing. If this will focus, there we go. Hit OK, hit OK, hit OK, nothing. Serious? Sure, that works. No problem. So, my determination is we need to change out the audio control module. Now, it is my understanding that on these cars you do have to reprogram them. If that's the case, I'll figure that out later and update you guys on how I got that going. But for now, the one that I picked up, I did go to a local junkyard that had another vehicle like this and pulled it from there. And I kind of want to give you guys a tutorial on how to do this. I mean, it kind of looks intimidating, but to be honest with you, it's not that hard. Really isn't. So let me get set up and we'll go from there. Alright, you guys, I kind of wanted to talk about this before I started. Just wanted to kind of show you guys what this looks like and give you guys a better idea of what you're looking for and what this thing is if you ever need to research it or figure out what's wrong with it. A lot of people complain about this going out in the cars. I understand there's a service you can send them out to and get them fixed as well, but I wanted to go this route first. And if it doesn't work, I can always take it back and then send my module out and get that fixed. And if that's the case, I'll update you guys on that as well. But for now, here's what you're looking. Basically, it's a CD changer and has connections in the back, and in the front you have where your CDs go into. Obviously you can't see it, but it is underneath all of the trim pieces. Okay guys, we're gonna get started. I highly recommend that you go under the hood and you at least disconnect the negative battery terminal, because you don't want to short anything out when you're working on electrical systems on any vehicle. Never keep it connected, and if you do disconnect both the negative and the positive, make sure it's always the negative first, take the positive off, and then when you go to reconnect it, you always connect in the opposite way, positive and then negative. That way you have no electrical arcs or fires or electronic shorts or anything like that. So let me go ahead and show you guys that, and then we'll get started on tearing this dash apart. Alright guys, another thing I want you all to know is when you're working on a vehicle under the hood, when it comes to metal or anything, no matter what it is, changing a belt, never wear jewelry. Don't wear rings, don't wear necklaces, don't wear loose clothing, none of that. So here I'm going to show you, you just want to disconnect the negative terminal here. One thing I failed to mention is most of them are 10mm sockets. Just a little bolt on the top, and then you remove the terminal. Make sure you set it aside so it doesn't arc on any metal. Sometimes it's better to have plastic around it, but in my case I'm just going to set it off to the side. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that we have no accessory power at all, and you're good to go. So let's get started. Alright guys, most of your bolts are going to be 7mm for everything that you need to disconnect. And where we're going to start is around the trim by the steering wheel. And we're going to take that cover off and loosen up some of the bolts that need to come off for the center. It also helps if you have some of these trim tools, that way you don't damage or scratch anything. I got these on Amazon, they're pretty cheap. If anybody has any questions about it or anything, I can always put a link in the description. Just let me know in the comments. I'll give you guys a better idea why I had to rip some of that out of the dash. It's because you have two bolts holding the AC vents in. You have to pull those out just to get the centerpiece out, to get the radio module out. Make sure you guys unplug the start-stop button if you do have that equipped on your vehicle. Alright, the next thing we're going to have to do is remove all these 7mm bolts all along the center console. That's to get the whole centerpiece out. Passenger side, if you have the trunk button, make sure you disconnect that so it's out of your way. There's about 6-7mm bolts on both sides, so you're looking at about 12, and every bolt that you take out, they're all the same size, so you don't have to worry about mixing them up. Okay guys, the reason why we had to remove all these bolts is because we have all these little pins, I guess you'd call it, come out of the dash here. And if you don't take all these bolts out, then you're not going to be able to remove any of this to get this center piece out. It's a lot easier to start from the back, don't start from the front. Make sure you guys remove your Taurus cover here that goes over the glove box, because if you don't, you're going to have a really difficult time pulling the side of the AC vent out, because it all comes out in one piece. And again, just be very careful when you're dealing with trim pieces, because they're easily breakable. That's why I mentioned having these trim tools. A couple bolts here that you have to disconnect, so that way you can pull this out. Again, they're 7mm. And like I told you guys, I can, if you comment in the video, like it, share it, I'll leave a link in the description for where you can get those trim tools if you don't already know. And then if you have a speaker cover or any type of plastic cover up here, be sure you remove that as well so you can get in here a little easier to pop this cover off. Again, it's a pretty easy task. It's just time consuming because you have to disconnect a lot of this interior stuff. Alright, and then the last couple bolts you guys should have to only remove for the trim pieces is these two top ones. That's why I say to remove that cover. Careful because this bottom part, if you don't end up moving your shifter like I had forgotten to before I disconnected the battery, it's really hard to get this piece out of the way in the center from the shifter. Okay guys, I had to move the shifter because I couldn't get the center off, so anytime you do that, make sure you always put a wheel chock there because you don't want your vehicle rolling on you and it's just a safety issue. For the cigarette lighter plug, it's a little different. You can't just push down on the tab. So if you have like a small screwdriver or something, it's the easiest way to do it. You just kind of stick it in there, press it down, and push back, and then it releases. Then you're going to have one more plug behind the piece in here. I'll show that to you guys when I remove it. That's for your climate control. Make sure you remove that and don't just yank this piece out because you'll break that wire that's sitting right here. Alright guys, so we're going to be removing the audio control module. It just takes 2 bolts and then it should pop right out, but we may have to remove the screen. If you guys want to end up getting this out of your way, you just got to remove one, and then this clip comes upwards, and then it'll release this. Make sure you push down on this little lip here for this to come out, so that way you can unplug this. It comes right out. Alrighty guys, the reason why we had to take the screen out is because it was in the way of these bolts back here in order to remove the audio control module. We got one back here, and then we have another one right back in the corner there. Alright guys, I'm going to end off the video because right now I'm not going to be able to update you guys whether or not this fixed it. I'm going to have to send it in because the one that I got does not have 2 ports. That's kind of the issue you run into sometimes when you take stuff out before you go. Mine has 2 ports, this one has 1. So it's a good idea to try to find out whether or not yours has 1 or 2. It might be for navigation or the ignition. And just make sure you guys try to maybe take it out before you do the job. And that's going to end off the video for now. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment. And we'll see you guys next time.